And so we come to the final 2 days. Well, final day and then travel day. You know how it goes. Day four, we started off back at the game place for a little bit just to do some final cleanup, get some pictures taken for a few things. And then it was off to the Phalanx house for the rest of the day. Um, by then, Frostloove and Poisonheart had already headed home. Frost flying and Poison driving. Kernobi stayed back at the hotel, and Dream Warrior and Perky went off to Universal to go check out all the movie stuff. Everybody else loaded up into the big old StackUp van and headed to Phalanx house for the second round of hanging out there. And it's funny because I think literally the first 2 hours, maybe even the first three, basically everybody just sat in the living room and bullshitted. And that's it. There wasn't like there was zero gaming happening, there was zero anything else. Everybody was just enjoying a chance to relax basically. Which was pretty cool, and just bullshitting about this and that and the other, and I don't even remember like most of it. It was just a chill conversation with everybody. Um, the interesting thing is, Phalanx House had been closed for that day because we knew we were coming back, and basically, that it was closed for its usual uses for that particular day so that we could come and hang out and see the place and, just kind of enjoy a day off almost, if you will, kind of thing. And so it wasn't just us in the end. One of the other streamers had one of their good friends come and join and hang with us, who was also a streamer, but that person hadn't been with us the entire time. So it was interesting. Starting with that one, there's actually a couple other things that take an interesting role. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm sorry. Rain Man also didn't join us originally because he had some stuff he was going to do, and I know that because later. Anyway, I already said this was always going to be rambling, so I think I did pretty well through the other videos. Now we're in the rambling part again, as I just kind of remembered things. But so that other streamer person, who was also very cool, very nice person, all of that fun stuff, but was an outsider to this group that we had now for a few days. And so it was kind of weird. And it was funny because I was going, we're sitting there doing all of that, and all of a sudden the band of brothers and sisters that we've had for these multiple days has an outsider that has hung in, and gotten into the group. And it feels kind of weird. And I finally kind of understood how that kind of goes with, obviously in some extremely, 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 extremely small version of it, but I got it. And then a little bit later on, there ended up being an actual vet coming over to Phalanx House to use Phalanx House as Phalanx House, as a place to, be sociable and hang out for a little bit. And while it was originally like, yeah, we're closed for the day, but, Steve was like, but come in anyway, because of course that is what the house is for. And so it was funny because then I had like a double shot of, we have strangers in our midst, but also then I was like, but I feel guilty for thinking that, because this gentleman is literally here for the actual reason why Phalanx House exists. I'm just here to fuck off, I'm not here for something important. I'm just here to just hang out and chill and enjoy the interactions with other streamers and whatnot. So it was like, well, fuck. In a way, he's not intruding on our space. We're actually intruding on his space, because that's what this place is for. Again, another cool person. Like, there wasn't an issue or anything of that nature. I was just going, man, I kind of feel it because we've been, we've been quote unquote in the trenches together for the last few days, and that's what this has been all about. So it was really funny to just have that feeling in any way, shape, or form, and go, yeah, well, you're not really getting in the thick of it, that kind of thing, but that is how it felt. And then actually, the reason I brought up Rain Man is because then he came in and brought another friend or his brother. No, somebody else had family, but I never really, like, I saw them for like 2 seconds because I think when they showed up, it might have been Lord Zat's family and his sister. Crap, by then I think this is where I had started to go outside more, either to like momentarily hang in Sketch's tavern, quote unquote, or the spot that me and Stoic were hanging out at a little bit further away. So I started to miss a lot of those interactions with the extra people that had kind of shown up. We ended up going to a Mexican restaurant, proper authentic one. This one even more authentic than I'm used to authentic because pretty much all of the menu was in Spanish. So I did the safe move. I went, Sketch, what are you getting? And it was like a steak burrito thing. And I'm like, that sounds good. I'm just going to grab that. Whatever. It's like, Sketch likes it. I'm sure it's good. Actually, it would have worked with probably just about anybody, but it was like somebody took the lead. They know what they get here. That's all I need. It's like, if you're grabbing it, unless there's something on there that I specifically don't like, and I'll suck it up and deal with it, or scrape it off, or whatever it needs to be. But that sounds like a safe move. Thank goodness I don't have allergies, so I don't have to worry about that kind of a thing. I can literally eat whatever as long as it doesn't gross me out. So, holy crap. Those burritos did anything but gross out. Those things were so damn good, and they were huge. Oh, man. Those were tasty as hell. And so by then, it was like getting into nighttime. Me and Stoic are basically hanging out in that spot that we had been. I had my little MP3 player with me that fits in my pocket. It has a little speaker on it, so I just set it out and let it play music, and it was just like the two of us just kind of hanging out. And again, it's funny because I think I talked about it in like the highlight section of video 1. Him and me are sitting there, we're eating, like we're bullshitting a little bit, but there was a ton of just chilling and quiet, and it wasn't like awkward. It was just, this is cool, this is nice, the weather's nice, it's quiet. It's chill. It's getting away from all the chaos, and I was good with that after the previous day. And, you only saw 4 videos about it, so that was definitely nice. And the only reason I even ran back inside eventually was because the mosquitoes came out. And unfortunately, my little bit of Native American blood that I have in me, I am a sweet treat, and they absolutely love me. And so all of a sudden, it went from one bite to like getting swarmed. It was like, nope, time to go in. So it's like, before I get drained of all my blood, yeah, it's time to go back in. Which ended up working out, because by the time we went in, I think we were only there for like an hour more or something. But it was cool because Rain Man had brought his sticks for the game, and it was like, and he was showing us a watered down version of his main game, and I don't remember what the watered down version of, but as he likes to put it, it's like a love letter to it, because it's all about, basically it's being able to play with the controls and learning how to fly in, non-Newtonian, zero gravity type stuff kind of thing. Non-Newtonian fluid dynamic, whatever. Okay, I'm rambling. But I had wanted to, check that out, and there had been a brief moment where he even tried to get me to come over during the event, but unfortunately, unbelievably, I was too busy at the time, and I couldn't. Like, I could not step away from the things that I was, because I was helping with, like, the stream and whatnot for a minute, the main stream. So I never got a chance there, but it was like, yeah, I wanted to jump on these. So I had, like, I think, like, 10, 15 minutes before we were piling back into the van to head back to the hotel. But I got a chance to play it. It was very cool and very weird, trying to figure out, but I guess there's a whole thing in that game's community that, you know, yes, the non-Newtonian physics are extremely hard, but only if you don't just go into it. So there's, like, how do you put it? Extra modifiers? No, not quite that. I don't know. Extra controls, extra programmed controls where you can hit it so that it no longer is doing that and it auto-stabilizes and all of that kind of stuff so that the ship will come to rest if you're not controlling it, that kind of a thing. And it was like, after I played with it for a little bit, and he actually started me off on that, I was like, okay, I get this, and this makes sense because it's, you know, it's flying a VTOL train, a VTOL plane, you know, up, down, left, right, A, B, start, all that fun stuff. Okay, that all makes sense. All right, now take these off so I can feel what you're feeling. Okay, now any nudge you do, and it's just going to keep spinning that way, so you have to, like, you know, mentally rewire a little bit so that if you turn, you have to unturn. You have to be, you know, the opposite reaction, and nothing else will do it for you. So, and because there's so many different directions on that, even with those controls, like, I had some of it figured out, and then I'm like, okay, I'm still spinning on this axis. What do I need to do? What control am I missing? Because it's, you know, backwards, forwards, left, right, and then there was, like, 2 other things? I can't even remember. I would have to literally, you know, touch it again, to do it again, to understand how all that worked. But, it basically, all I needed was the one hint. It was like, you need to do this to stop that. Once he told me, then I was able to get it under control. Could I fly like he could fly? Hell no, of course not. The dude's got, you know, how many crazy hours in that game? And it's his sticks, and he's been doing it, so he knows that shit. Fucking back of the hand kind of situation. It's literally just ingrained in his brain. But I could get a certain sense of control with it, and it was fun to check that out and play with it a little bit and see it. Oh, forward and backward, and I'm back into rambling and whatnot. But I had like 10-15 minutes. I guess a bunch of other people jumped on it, whatnot. A few had been there for the stream, so like everybody was getting a chance. And then I think he the first stream back, he was kind of like nudge mocking in a fun way the people in his community that play it, but they do it with the stabilizers and stuff. And he's like, yeah, so I had a bunch of streamers, you know, get on the sticks and play with it, and within about 10 minutes to 15 minutes, yeah, they all had a pretty good understanding. So all of you that are saying that it's not controllable, you just suck. Basically, I'm paraphrasing heavily here, but anyway, so I think there may have been, I'm trying to remember if this was the big party at Zas. I know I said on the previous video it was the night of the streams, and I don't actually remember. If it wasn't, then I think we all just called it, and was like, it's time to just crash and be ready for bed. Or maybe we came and hung out for a minute. I don't remember off the top of my head. I could probably look back through the Discord and look, but I'm just at the point where I'm just rambling and I'm getting close to the end of all of this. So I'm not going to look. You're just going to have to wonder for the rest of time. I probably will too, because I'm going to forget until the end of time. But that's the end of day 4. So into day 5 and travel day. Obviously this part is going to be relatively short. Get into the van to head there, and as I mentioned in the previous one, we all sung Dream Warrior Happy Birthday, because it was legitimately his birthday that Monday. So got to enjoy that, and we all got to the airport nice and early. And of the people that were left, I think 2 people ended up going off the other direction because it's a two-sided airport. It was a small one. It's the Burbank one. But in the end, me, Stoic, Pacific, Rainman, Dream, and Kern all ended up on the same side. So because it took a while for any of us to have an actual flight out, we got to hang out for a little bit more. We ended up sitting around. It was funny because I am usually meticulous about making sure that I don't have anything that could possibly cause me even the littlest bit of grief through security. And apparently, I had forgotten that I had a half-drunk Mountain Dew, a Baja Blast no less, in my bag. And so get through security, but then the bag check, and they come over. He's like, "Whose bag is this?" And I'm like, "It's mine." Why? Because I'm already going there. There's nothing in there. Why would you possibly be asking about mine? Except there was, because I didn't do my meticulous thing, and I didn't recheck that bag before I left the hotel. So he pulls it out, and I'm like, "Oh man, freaking half a bottle of Baja Blast." He's like, "I can throw it away, or you can take it outside and drink it." Take it outside and drink it means I have to go all the way back out security, all the way back out the front doors. I'm not going through security twice. I'm like, "I will absolutely pound it right now." And he's like, "Nope, that's the 2 choices. I throw it away, or you have to take it outside." And I'm like, oh God, I wish I had known that it had been there. I had wanted like half a bottle of Mountain Dew for the morning, and I had it the whole time. And I had to make the sacrifice and let him throw it away, and I was really bummed. But I was not going back to security because hell no, it's literally the one thing that I absolutely despise about having to go through fucking airports. I don't mind flying. I don't mind the rest of the airport. I don't mind waiting. I just hate dealing with security. Not that I have an issue. God, I hate it. I hate dealing with it. I hate fucking any of that shit. But I had it easy because Rain Man had to go through, and he had to get like extra checked. And the funny part is, we all pretty much knew that was going to happen to him, but we all thought it was going to be because of the flight sticks that he had. No, he got held up and totally looked through because he had a CPAP machine, and they had to check that instead. It was like, for a CPAP machine? So that was pretty damn funny. I think everybody else got through perfectly fine. We walked all the way down that terminal and then like halfway back looking for any kind of morning drinks and whatnot. And I legitimately, I can barely remember any of the conversations at this point. It is like a month and a half at the time of this particular recording. Yes, this has taken me a while to do. But we hung out. We got a few more pictures while we were there. One of the flights, I think it was Pacific and Stoic, ended up on the same flight together on the way out. Actually, I guess on the flight in, I was either on the same plane as Highfire or MVK, but neither one of us recognized it. I wouldn't know because whoever it was sitting further behind me, but I got told about it later. I was like, if we'd have known, well, we were obviously at Chicago at the same time, headed out to Burbank. So that would have been at least kind of cool because we were also on Southwestern. So had we known, we could have sat next to each other. It is what it is, But on the flights themselves, oh no, hang on, right before the flight, the very last goodbye was by Rain Man. I think I mentioned it in the first thing, but like all of them had walked off because I was in one of the earlier spots where you fly out. I can't think of the name. I don't know. Whatever. Gates. Found it. But all of them were further in. They started to walk off, and I kind of was like settling into wallflower as I do. Fucking Rain Man turns around, walks back up, and just huge bear hugs my ass, lifts me off the fucking ground, and that's the final goodbye. I was like, well, fuck, okay, alright, well, that's cool. I mean, I'm not much of a contact kind of person, that kind of a thing, but hey, what the hell? You know, by then we were all very cool with each other, so it didn't bother me. But now I can go. So the flight's back. Jeez, I can't talk at this point. It's like the end of the actual stream itself. The flight's in. The first flight, I had the open leg spot, and the second flight, I had an empty spot in the middle. On the flight's back, the first flight had an empty spot in the middle, and the second flight had the open leg spot. So I got super lucky the whole friggin' time. I either had leg room or nobody next to me, so I still had leg room. Could not have gotten luckier with all of those flights. Absolutely amazing. You don't get that lucky when you have 4 flights. You don't ever get that lucky. Like, that was just icing on the cake of a weekend that was unbelievably amazing, tons of fun, and just very cool all around, you know? And getting to see some cool sights on the flight too, especially that first one, and it's probably already played by now, but the morning fog leaving California and the mountains just peeking over the fog. God, it would be so cool to be on top of any of those, just to look out and see all of that. Somebody has an awesome job somewhere. Lucky bastards. They probably hate their job with a passion, and it probably sucks. But in this one moment, for that view, I'm going to say they are some lucky bastards. So, there we go. The whole 2025 10th anniversary Call to Arms live. The first one back after multiple freaking years. And me hosting it, don't know why, other than obvious reason of being here the whole time and going to be into the future. The shenanigans, the fun, the absolutely epic crew that we had, and with all the trials and tribulations, all the pivoting, it was great, and truly, we embraced the chaos.